Welcome BHS students to the registration tutorial. This video will walk you through the process of requesting courses for next school year. Let's get started. To access this video tutorial, the first step that you went through was to log on to Baraboo School District's website and locate the Schools tab and to select Baraboo High School from that drop-down menu. Then you looked to the far right-hand corner of the screen to important resources and clicked into the link registration information. You'll notice that that is not an option for me because the video you're viewing was produced before that link was created and added to this website. So I'll be accessing that information differently at this time. After you clicked on registration information, you clicked on this text again and it brought you to the registration information website. You'll be using this website to complete step 1 of the registration process. To learn more about the two-step process, it will be important for you to familiarize yourself with the home page. There are tips regarding navigating the site, and there is information regarding the two-step process for completing registration. You'll also notice at the very bottom that your deadline to have your 16 course requests entered into Infinite Campus is January 10th, and we'll talk more about that during this tutorial. Let's focus on step 1. Print out and complete your academic career plan. This was also provided to you in hard copy form when you met with the counselors prior to registration, but you can access it using this website under My Academic Career Plan. Simply click here. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to be registering as a 9th grade student, and you will notice that the required courses and course numbers have been provided to me in my freshman year. So in looking at semester 1, Lit Genre Comp, Phy-Ed, or Strength and Conditioning, Math, Biology, Area Studies, and Intro to Econ are all classes that I will be taking, and those course numbers have also been provided to me. My responsibility will be to locate elective classes using the registration information website and writing in both their course name and course number so that I have a total of 16 selections before opening Infinite Campus to enter in my course requests. Let's take a look back at the main site. Now that you have printed off your ACP, let's take a look at completing that document so you are ready to register for classes. In reviewing the document, you'll notice again that the required classes have been provided to you along with those course numbers. So you do not have to look for English, you do not have to look for a science class, you do not have to look for social studies classes, and the math is listed there, but you will have to write down a course number because that has not been provided. Let's start with the math. I clicked into the math tab, and you'll notice at the very top of the math tab that this is a graduation requirement. Anytime that you select a core content area that is required for graduation, it will list that requirement at the top of the page. There's also a standard math sequence provided for you here. This is something that students can exceed and is a standard math sequence, not necessarily a sequence that all students will follow. For freshman year, the majority of students will take algebra unless there is a teacher recommendation to pursue an alternate course. You'll notice that there are two numbers here, two course numbers listed for algebra because 65315 is for the first semester and 65316 is for the second semester. I have written those numbers down on my ACP so that I have them later when I am in Infinite Campus registering for courses. Some other things to be aware of as we look at course descriptions is you will notice the credit total. Because this is a year-long class, it is worth 1 credit. or it spans 2 semesters, again a year-long class, is open to grades 9 through 12. Some courses will have special conditions, and as we look into the math sequence, you'll notice that other courses will have prerequisite classes. So for geometry, I must first pass 2 semesters of Algebra 1. So I'm beginning with Algebra 1. Let's go back to the top and look at Phi Ed, another area where as a freshman I have to make a choice. Again, you'll notice it is a graduation requirement and that students must take and pass 3 Phi Ed courses throughout their time at Baraboo High School. As a freshman, you can choose between Phi Ed 1 or Strength and Conditioning. I have chosen to write down the course number for Strength and Conditioning on my ACP and have crossed off the Phi Ed 1 so that I do not enter that number by mistake later on. The other core areas have been provided to you, so we won't be looking at science, we won't be looking at social studies, and we will not be looking at English. So now it's time to target some elective classes. One thing that I'm interested in taking is world language. This is something that I did not do last year at the middle school, and between French and Spanish, I'm going to focus on Spanish. Again, you'll notice that Spanish is a year-long class. There are 2 course numbers listed. I'm eligible for the course, and I'll be earning 1 credit for this class. I've written these 2 numbers down on my ACP, and I'm going to continue on to my next elective choice. Another area of interest for me is art, so that will be the next department that I look at. And after reviewing my options within the art department, I am going to focus on one of the foundations courses at the very top. In reading the description, you'll notice that you are eligible to take one or the other for 1 semester for a half credit. And I'm going to be looking at taking the 2D Art Foundations course. If I wanted to, I could take 3D Art Foundations as well, but I'm only going to focus on 2D Art. I've written down this course number on my ACP, and I'm ready to continue choosing electives. The next department that I'm going to be taking a look at will be the computer science. You'll notice again that in the computer science department it is a graduation requirement, so all students must take and pass at least 1 course from this department. After reviewing the choices, I have selected to go with the first listing in the department, which is Computers and Society. I've written the course number down again. I know that I will be taking it 1 semester for a half credit, and as we've mentioned before with other classes, you see that it's listed for grades 9 through 12, and I am eligible to take this class as a freshman. I'm going to continue selecting my electives by looking at the business department. And again, there are multiple options for students selecting elective classes. I am simply selecting the departments to show you how to use this site. In looking at the business department, and after reviewing all of my options, I have decided that Principles of Business would be a class that I'm going to request. Again, it is important for me to write down the course number on my ACP. I'm noticing on my ACP I still have 2 blanks to fill, so I'm going to look at the technology education portion of the website. And because most of the classes in the technology education section of the website list Intro to Tech as a recommended prerequisite, I'm going to start with that. I have written down this number on my ACP, and again, I know that I'm taking it for 1 semester for a half credit. And I will now select my last elective class, and I'm going to focus on the agribusiness site. Again, when you click into any given department, It will be important for you to review all of your options, make sure that you understand what the course is, because once you select your courses, that will be your schedule for the upcoming semesters that you are registering for. After I had a chance to review, I've decided to write down this course number for Wide World of Ag, and I have now completed my ACP. Let's take a look at my completed ACP with 16 finalized selections. This is my completed ACP. You'll notice that I highlighted the Phy Ed class that I will be taking along with the course number. I've crossed the other one off so that I won't confuse myself later on when I enter my course requests into Infinite Campus. It's important that you have the course numbers written down accurately and that you have 16 course numbers written down so that you can complete step 2. Completing the ACP was step 1, and entering your numbers into Infinite Campus will be step 2. Let's take a closer look at completing step 2 by going back to our main site. You've taken care of your ACP, you've finished step 1. Now it would be time for you to take a look at I'm ready to enter my 16 requests in Infinite Campus, and you can do so by clicking here. Before we do that, I just want to highlight a couple other resources on this web page. This graduation requirements tab will be helpful if you are wondering what classes you need to be targeting and in what sequence those classes should be taken. This credit requirement tab is important because each year is different as far as the credits required. This was provided to you in hard copy form by the counselors prior to registration, but this will be a good review. You can also learn more about our Law Day system which went into place. And if you have any questions about the registration process, you can use the Ask Your Counselor tab. By clicking here, you will be brought to our contact information, and you can give us a call or shoot us an email. We'd be happy to work with you on any questions you have about this process. Let's take a look at registering and entering your numbers into Infinite Campus by clicking here. You'll be brought to your login page, and you can go ahead and enter in your username and password. After you key in your username and password, you will be brought to this screen, and the next step will be to locate the course registration tab at the very top of the page and to click into that. And now you will be able to enter numbers off of your ACP directly into Infinite Campus, and this will complete your registration. The way you do that is to look at the top toolbar and click on Course Search. I will go through a few examples with you so that you understand the process of registering for your courses. I prefer to use the course number box, and now with your ACP in front of you, you can use the numbers that you have written down to request the classes. I'm going to start with English. I key in the number, I click Go, it will show up here. I click on the course, and now I can request this course. We don't want to be clicking on Request as an alternate. Request this course is the tab that you should be using to select all of your classes. You can see that I've now successfully registered for or requested Lit Genre Comp Semester 1. I'm going to add the second semester. I click Go. Again, it will show up here. I click on it, and I'm always choosing Request this course. I have now requested a full credit of English. Let's do one more. I've added my first semester of algebra to my requested course list. After seeing these three examples, you should be able to easily finish the registration process. I will now jump ahead to show you what a finished registration looks like. And I now have 16 selections entered in and have finished the registration process. I'm going to double check to make sure that I have 16 selections. And I do. I have 16 courses entered. One thing that I also want to highlight is it may happen that you enter in an incorrect number and notice that a course here is not one that you're interested in taking, and it's simple to fix. I'm going to click on the last course that I entered, and it will highlight that class, and if I do want to drop that from my request list, I simply click the drop this request key, and it will be removed from my requested courses. I want that in there, so I'm going to replace it. And at this point I have successfully completed the registration process. Once you have completed your registration, don't forget to look to the top right hand corner of the screen to sign out of your Infinite Campus account. If you do have questions, please contact one of your school counselors. You can access that information on the registration information website, and good luck with your registration for courses for your upcoming semesters. One final reminder, please turn in your academic career plan hard copy to Student Services after you register. Thank you.